That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? HBO has just announced that they have greenlit Last of Us Season 3 officially prior to Season 2 coming out this Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This Sunday is when Last of Us returns.
I'm
so psyched for this.
Andor's.
And Andor is coming like a few days after that or something like that. So they've officially greenlight Season 3. Now, many people might scratch their heads a little bit and say, wait a minute. Didn't they announce a long time ago that they were going to take the second game and split that into 2 different seasons? Yes, but they weren't committing to actually do that second part. They weren't actually committing to doing Season 3. They wanted to see how Season 2 turned out. And according to this article in the Hollywood Reporter, The Last of Us renewed for Season 3 by HBO after glowing Season 2 reviews. And it says, it can't be overemphasized how proud HBO is of the second season, says HBO drama head Francesca Orsi. No idea if that's any relation to Roberto. No, I guess it's spelled differently. All right, this is what they wrote. Season 2 will not be The Last of Us. HBO has renewed the Emmy-winning drama series for a 3rd season ahead of its highly anticipated return this weekend. The news comes on the heels of the show's new episodes receiving glowing reviews from critics, with Season 2 currently sitting at a 92% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and the Hollywood Reporter calling it thrilling and addictive. I'll tell you what, when I start, kind of surfing around YouTube, for whatever reason, the algorithm often gives me show clips, sometimes of shows I've never even watched. But for some reason, I stumbled across a show clip of Nick Offerman, the introduction of Nick Offerman in episode 3 of Last of Us. That whole thing when he's in his town, in his bunker, and the town's being evacuated, and then he goes out and sets up the town as his own private little paradise.
It's like a dream come true.
It was so good. It's like a dream come true. It was so good. I love this show. I was shocked I think it is the show that really broke the ceiling on the video game curse. We've had some good stuff, Sonic, things like that, but I think it was Last of Us that went like, no. See, video game stuff can't only just be good, it can be the best in the world. It can have the potential of being the best stuff out there in the world, regardless of genre. Then we've had things like Fallout and things like that come since. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Hungryroot. Okay, so I'm sure you guys can all relate to this. Spring hits and suddenly life goes from like 0 to 100. Busy season is officially in full swing over here. And honestly, who's got time to go grocery shopping? That's where Hungryroot comes in. See, because Hungryroot is like having your own personal shopper. I told them my goals and they started curating groceries for me that actually fit my life. Be it smoothies, snacks, salad kits, even ready to eat meals. All clean ingredients, no artificial junk. This week, I got the grilled turkey tenderloin with pesto grilled veggies, and it was amazing. And I got my usual protein-packed snacks. It's like they're learning my taste better than I even know myself. And the best part is, I don't have to waste time driving to the grocery store and wandering the aisles. That's time I can spend doing literally absolutely anything else. Guys, I love Hungryroot. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/Campea and use the code Campea. That's hungryroot.com/Campea, code Campea, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/Campea, code Campea. But man, I'm very excited to hear that they finally given the green light to this. They're going to go into production relatively soon, they said, on Season 3. We already know it's going to be the second part of Game 2. But Chris, what is going to be interesting to me is we saw in Season 1, Craig Mazin and Druckmann were not afraid to deviate from the game.
Yeah.
And it felt like to me that every time they deviated from the game, they elevated the show. How much are they going to do that in Season 2? Now, I expect somewhat, because I don't think the event is going to happen in episode 1 or 2. So they're going to move that around. So it's going to be really interesting to see how far they deviate this time around that they did from the first time. Anyway, you're hearing their greenlit Season 3 now. What's your first reaction?
It was, yeah, duh. Obviously. Obviously they're going to do this. This is such a crown jewel for HBO right now. And as a friendly reminder to everyone too, the video game industry is the highest grossing form of entertainment out there. So anytime you have excellent video game IP, people are going to try to mine it. And The Last of Us was this game that people pointed to for years of, well, they're just games. Well, they're not that good. the cinematic cutscenes in The Last of Us are some of the most beautiful and heartbreaking things. That's why the HBO show took some of those and did them frame for frame.
Yeah.
Right. And to your point, yeah, they did take some things, they expanded and elevated other places and made this a really beautiful, heartbreaking story that's hard to watch and heartbreaking and you really connect with. Also, it just appeals to Angelinos everywhere of, oh my gosh, a breadstick did this to everybody? Dang.
Breadstick.
Stay away from gluten. You'll become a clicker. Love that. I think they're going to do some really great things with season 2. I think they're absolutely going to build out the drama leading up to the event, because I think that is something where they're going to absolutely make sure that we are the most heartbroken when that happens.
Yeah, I don't see the event happening till the second last episode of the
I was
season.
going to say Pentultimate is where I
Yeah.
think this will happen.
I drift from you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Say again?
I kind of drift from you guys
Okay.
unless they're doing a story structure where it's, we've already brought this up, a Godfather 2, where they are able to do a flashback back and forth
Which the second game does have significant
That is
and
true.
restructure
Yeah.
so it's flashbacks until it culminates with that. Then I'm on board with you guys because, and then season 3 is linear.
Yeah.
But if they're not going to do that, I think they're going to shock people by second episode latest.
They're going to just like Sean Bean us.
Boom.
Dang.
I'll just say there's somebody in too many of the trailers and featured way too much to take them out that fast. But I don't know. Rob, they've greenlit the season 3 now ahead of season 2 coming out. It's not surprising to us to hear it.
No.
But the fact that they've now gone ahead and did it and the second season is getting such a great response. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think the obvious, we're what, 4 weekends away from Mother's Day. I think that's the weekend to do it. If you want the whole family together watching getting their Last of Us fix, and you want to hit them hard, the event can happen then. But I do think that they were always planning on, even the success of Last of Us 1, season 1, showed them that they're going to get at least 3 seasons out of this. So I would imagine this show was always going to be 3 seasons or 2 seasons. I mean, this Last of Us Part 2 would always be 2 seasons, and they planned it that way. So I'm sure it was already written that way. They just don't announce that it was greenlit because of just the way it works, the way TV works. Because I learned this when we worked on the animated show for Netflix. They greenlit 3 seasons from the beginning, but we couldn't say that, even though we were in production on 3 seasons. The scripts were being written and animation was being done. And I think for this, because it's such a logistically large show, that they were probably just waiting in the wings to announce this. And because of the reviews that came out, they figured, okay, now is the time. So, and it would make sense because they can move it into production much quicker and get the 3rd season out in a reasonable amount of time. But I'm excited for this. Look, this show, I think, exceeded everybody's expectations.
Yeah. I think even the most optimistic of people have exceeded their
100%.
expectations.
And, they did things in this show where, like with the cordyceps, the cordyceps would sense things. Like they did some really interesting stuff in the show that wasn't in the game. Like if you stepped on something here a mile away, they could feel it, or there was that made it even more realistic.
That was based in science, so that was cool
totally. Totally. And I think that what The Last of Us did so well is the TV show works in tandem with the game, and in a way it sort of elevates. Like if you go back and you play The Last of Us 1 now and you've seen the show, I think you have more of an appreciation. They work in tandem together and they elevate the entire, call it an IP. And I would expect season 2 to do even more of that.
Yeah.
Because they have something, as you call it, the event. They have something to build around so they have this dramatic thing that happens that they have to make work within the context of a show. And I think that it's probably, as Chris was saying, and you were saying, I think they're going to string it out. Yeah. Because
by the way, I just wanted to point out, somebody in the live chat said, well, John, the trailers can all just be from the first 2 episodes. Absolutely. That's not my point. My point is that if you're going to feature something heavily in your promo, you can't then just take that away right at the beginning of the show.
right.
Like if you're going to because you're basically,
but that's mean.
yeah, you can do that, but it would be, that would be a mistake.
But isn't The Last of Us world
It is very
cool?
mean. Yeah. Pam and Mike, don't do that.
But I also want to
Blame
point
them
this out
personally.
too.
Didn't stop Game of Thrones.
I know.
In the article, a lot of times, like for instance, when they announced this new season of Handmaid's Tale, they announced, come back for the final season, right? There's none of that language in this announcement for season 3.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a hint in any of the statements or announcements that season 3 is the final season.
Right.
They're definitely going to be a season 4. There's 100% going to be a season 4, and that'll go beyond the games. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Last of Us Season 3 has now officially been greenlit. I mean, we were expecting it to be, but it's kind of nice to hear it become official prior to Season 2 launching. Do you think they'll go beyond that? When do you think they all go golfing? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and
Boy.
let us know your thoughts.
That was bad, John.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.